Hello and welcome. It's another beautiful day to get our bodies moving, and I'm so happy that you are here. Today we are going to be doing a stretching and strengthening routine that is especially focused on the core. So core front to back, but we will still be getting some good work into our lower body and our upper body as well, working strength, flexibility, balance, maybe even getting our heart rate up a little bit. So I hope you are up for a challenge. We are going to start sitting this morning or this afternoon, whatever time of day it is where you are right now. And we want to think about good posture even though we are sitting on the ground. So think about rooting both sits bones equally into the ground, sitting nice and tall, creating a long spine, shoulders down away from your ears, maybe bringing your arms out to your sides, palms facing up, just for a little bit more external rotation in your shoulders. We're going to close our eyes for the next moment or so, just so that we can focus on our breath without any visual distractions. So on your next inhale, breathe slowly and deeply through your nose, feeling that breath come all the way down to your belly as it expands. And your exhale should be just as slow as your inhale, either out through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels most comfortable. We don't often have the time or maybe the inclination to think about our breath. But whenever we do, in quiet moments like this, I encourage you to take advantage of that opportunity. So slowly inhaling. Slowly and completely exhaling. Just becoming aware of your present surroundings, not thinking about anything else going on the rest of your day. Let's take one more deep breath together with our eyes closed. When you're ready, open your eyes. And we'll just start to move a little bit, taking our head side to side, loosening up any tension you may be experiencing right now in the head or the neck area. We'll come back to center and just look over one shoulder, look over the other. Especially if it's first thing in the morning, your neck might be especially tight, or maybe it's the end of the day and you had a lot of stress, because we hold our stress and tension a lot in that neck and shoulder area. All right, come back to center. We'll reach way up and over one direction, way up and over the other. Just feeling those little muscles between our ribs open up and stretch. That helps us to breathe deeply like we just practiced. Come to center and then just gentle twist side to side, keeping your spine long. Sometimes we tend to slouch a little bit as we rotate. And we're going to try to not do that right here. And then face forward. We're going to do a little shoulder roll forward and a shoulder roll back. And see the difference. How do you feel when your shoulders are back versus forward? Because so much of our day, we're here. So it should feel especially nice to pull those shoulders back and open up your chest, your shoulders, opening and expanding the lungs. We'll do one more. Come to neutral. Take one arm up and over behind, and then the other arm up and over, and then the other direction. So it's going to be back, back, forward, forward. If this bothers your shoulder or your shoulders at all, you can always adjust by making it a little bit smaller, bending at your elbows, a little bit shorter lever. But if your shoulders feel okay, keep your arms relatively straight as you send them each direction. And you can go a little slower, a little faster, whatever pace feels good for you. All right, back to center. We're going to do our rib roll. If you've been doing this routine with me in person the last few weeks, I hope you've been enjoying this one. It's a little tricky. Just give yourselves an opportunity to practice and you'll get it. So we're gonna take our rib cage, we're gonna push it forward, take it sideways, pull it back, take it to the side. So forward, side, back, side. And to the best of your ability, you're sending your ribs around. Not so much your chest, not so much your hips. Try to isolate through the ribs. If you want to get really crazy, you can start to roll it around. It gets a little harder if you want to stay with just those distinct directions, forward and sideways and back, go ahead. Let's go the other direction. You're probably going to be a little bit better at this one way than the other. I certainly am. I think this is my harder side, but I'm still trying. All right, come to center. Next, hands and knees. So into tabletop position, hands right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips. And a wonderful stretch for our core is cat and cow. So on inhale, we drop our belly button toward the ground, tipping head and tailbone up. On your exhale, you scoop your belly button up toward your spine, head and tailbone down. And we're going to continue these a few more times, matching the movement to your breath. Making sure your head goes along for the ride, because we want a nice stretch all the way down our spine, from the base of our head to our tailbone. And this is a great exercise to do at the beginning of every day, or the end of every day, or whenever you feel really tight in your back or in your core. All right, bring it to a neutral spine, tuck your toes into your mat, lift your hips up into down dog, that upside down V. And just some gentle movement here. You can either pedal out your feet and kind of rock your hips side to side. Practice rounding, flexing the back a little bit. Just whatever feels natural here. Getting the blood moving a little bit. All right, walk your hands forward, or your feet forward towards your hands. Walking hands forward would be interesting. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Slowly round up to standing. Take as much time as you need. All right, so we're going to increase the intensity of the warm-up a little bit. We're going to take our right heel forward, and then we're going to sweep our arms down and up. Slide your foot in and stretch to the side. Same thing with your other foot. Heel forward, sweep down and up, stretch to the side. So we're getting a quick hamstring stretch, quick side stretch. So this is an example of dynamic stretching. We're not holding our stretch here. We're moving through it. We'll do some static stretches later on. Both are incredibly beneficial to helping our flexibility. That's why we do both kinds. Oh, we have a guest. I think she has to make herself known in just about every video. All right, let's do one more so we're even. Down and up, and stretch, perfect. Next, relax your arms. You're gonna go through a little flow. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. So you're just kind of bringing the torso down. Next, lift halfway up so you're creating a flat looking back. Then drop your hips as you lift your arms into chair. Stand tall and repeat. So forward fold. Lift halfway up. Come into chair, take your time. Rise strong. Forward fold, exhaling. Inhaling as you lift halfway. Exhaling into chair. Inhaling as you stand tall. Let's do that a couple more times. Great way to warm up the body in a nice gentle way. A little hint, keeping your legs together makes the chair posture a little bit more comfortable. They have each other for support. Go ahead and relax your arms down. Come toward the top of your mat. And next, we're going to be taking a big diagonal step back with one leg, back to center. A big step back the other way. Keep going. I'm just going to let her in, otherwise she's going to continue to distract us. So on an angle, so you're not going directly back or to the side, angling that step back. It's a little different than we normally do a lunge. And we're gonna add on. So grab your hands together. After you step back, little twist behind you, twist forward and step. Same thing other side. Step, twist, and come forward. And then you can kind of smooth this motion out, kind of combining the step and the twist together, if that feels comfortable, or you can do them separate. You can make sure your foot is back there before you twist. Whatever works for you. Let's do one more each side. It's a great way to continue warming up our core. All these twists and rotations. Nice. Back to center. Wide stance. So separating your feet nice and wide, turning out from the hips. Plie squats. We're going to come down and then we're going to do a big side stretch one direction. Plie, big side stretch. So we've already kind of done these side stretches before when we were sitting, but we get a little bit more ability to stretch here from our plies. So think about powering up into that nice big reach. And in plies, we try to keep our knees and our hips right one on top of the other here. Good, let's do one more each way. Hoping you're feeling nice and warm at this point. So here comes a static stretch, which we're gonna hold. So turn your feet to face forward. Hands rest on your hips and slowly hinge with a nice straight back. Starting to feel the release and the stretch in your hamstrings. And you are welcome to stay here, or you can just melt a little farther, bringing your hands all the way to the ground. Just letting your head and neck relax here. So here is where gravity helps pull us into a little deeper stretch. But if we're not quite ready for that, you can stay right here with some support with hands on your thighs. To come up like we always do, bend to the knees, slowly round up to standing. Awesome. All right, grab a little water if you need to. Otherwise, we'll move on, working a little bit more into strength of the lower body, but getting some nice dynamic stretching along the way. So you want to back up a little bit for this first series. And I'll warn you, it's a little bit long. We do a lot of exercises on one side of the body, and eventually we'll get to the other. So we'll start with our right leg moving, and we're just going to take a step forward and back. So big step forward, pull on back, landing heel ball toe. And as you get comfortable with this, I encourage you to try to take even bigger step forward. It gets harder. That's how we get stronger. All right, now you can continue with that, or you can try this little add-on. We're going to step forward, lift the leg, set it down, then step back. So big step forward, lift, lower, back. And this is where we start to engage our core, right there. Leaning back, you should feel those abdominal muscles tighten up. Big step forward, lift. And yes, we're working balance too. So you might be wobbling a little bit. That's all right. Do you want to make it even more challenging? Hold that lift a little longer. Hold, 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 hold. Sit down when you're ready. And you are doing this at your own pace. Remember to breathe. Those muscles need our oxygen to keep working for us. All right, that'll be the last one of those. Now you're gonna step towards the top of your mat because we're gonna be doing a squat and a lunge. So back to chair posture. So feet are together, but the heels are slightly apart. From here, come into your squat. You're dropping your hips behind you. Rise up, right leg back. Big step back into your lunge. Come on forward. Again, squat, rise up, lunge. Beautiful. On your lunge, just make sure you can see that front big toe. So the step is backwards, your knee stays stacked over your ankle. All right, next time we're going to add on one squat, one lunge, just like we've been doing. But this time, hold your lunge, shift your weight to your front foot, into cross balance or warrior three, then set your feet together. Again, squat, rise up, lunge, that big step, shift forward, shooting that back leg up, back to standing. Couple more times. This is where heart rate increases a bit. It becomes almost cardio. Shift, ooh, balance, balance. Let's try one more. This time we're really gonna hold that cross balance. So psych yourselves up. Tell yourself, I can do this. Lift. I can stick this balance move and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, stand and breathe. Not quite done. One more exercise before we move to the other side. This one's going to be a curtsy lunge. So right leg is our mover still. Curtsy back, step side, curtsy. Sometimes we call these bowlers. If you bowl, you should be able to picture it right here, right? I know you look that elegant when you bowl all the time. I do. I actually can't remember the last time I've been bowling, which is too bad. It's a fun thing to do. Now, if you want to engage your core a little bit more here, lift your knee. Drive it strong. Big curtsy, big knee. You are also challenging your balance. Arms are free to go wherever is going to help you balance best. This last one, I'm going to hold that knee lift once again for 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Side one is done. So shake it out. Good time for some more water, right? We want to stay hydrated. And then we'll get ready for the other side. All right, so we step back, and we're just going to step forward and back, this time with our left leg. Big step forward, pull it back, forward. Heel ball toe, that nice soft landing. Like you're stepping on a sponge, right? Maybe eggshells or something like that, right? That probably makes more sense. You don't want to make a mess, you don't want to drive your feet into the ground. All right, are you ready to try the lift? So it's a step, lift, lower, pull back. Getting that core working right here. So the first few might go pretty quick because you're finding your balance and you might have to set your foot down right away. But you're gonna get better at these. And that's when you wanna hold that foot up a little bit longer. I sure hope my feet are clean. Otherwise you're gonna give me my dirty foot. Ooh, hold and brace. I'm gonna do one more at normal pace, and then we're gonna try that longer hold. Are you ready? Here we go. Big step forward. Lift, hold, hold, hold. For 5, 4, 3, 2, down and back. Oh, I know you did awesome. To the front of your mat. This is where we're gonna squat and lunge. So, tops of your feet together, slight separation between your heels. Sink your hips as you lift your arms. Rise up, big step back. Left foot this time. We wanna make sure we're on the opposite side, or you're gonna feel very crooked at the end of the workout. So take your time. Hold your squat for a moment. Hold your lunge. We'll do one more before we add on. All right, guys, one squat, one lunge, and then we're gonna do that balance. So squat, rise up, lunge, shift your weight forward as you lift that back leg, and then set your foot down right next to the other one. So chair or squat, rise up, big lunge back, shift and lift. Arms anywhere you would like them to go. Stand tall. So ignore my pace. Do this at your comfortable tempo, as long as you're not rushing through this. Our heart rate's up there already. You don't have to go fast to get a little cardio benefit. And I really want you to feel your muscles working, challenging your balance. This last time through, let's all hold our lift a little bit longer. And I'm starting my lift right now and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, done. We're not done. We've got curtsy lunges, so left leg back and tap side. And you may notice in curtsies that one side, like in so many exercises, is a little stronger than the other. Maybe one knee is a little wonky and you can't go down quite as far. So you listen to your body on each side. I'm going to do one more tapping, and then I'm going to try lifting that knee. Join me if you like. Lift the knee, curtsy. And everybody's arms might look a little different here. We all have different bodies that feel better balancing one way than another. So whatever feels natural and comfortable to you, you're taking it slow and easy. The next time I lift my knee, I'm going to hold it. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Oh, legs should feel pretty darn tired. They worked hard, so take a second to shake it, stretch it, grab some more water. I always like to give you some breaks throughout the routine, just so that we can recover a little bit so the next exercise won't suffer, right? We don't want to be so exhausted going into our next series of exercises that we lose proper form. So take breaks whenever you need to. All right, one more exercise before we go down to the ground. This one I think is lots of fun. I hope you will agree. We're going to start with feet separated, and it's going to be a squat into what we call a shooting star. So this is going to be squat, we shoot one direction, squat, we shoot the other. I love this one, starting from a squat, because you can really power up into your lift right there. Feeling your hip and outer thigh engage as you lift the leg. And yes, we're going to do balance here. So the next one, get ready, we're going to hold that lift, squat. Lift and hold, magic number is 5, 4, 3, 2, squat. Right into another lift and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and with a squat, one more squat, and lift up. Oh, that should have finished off the legs. Yes? All right, so next, we're gonna work our way down to the mat where we can focus a little bit more on the core. We were using our core throughout all of those exercises, but even more so in the ones to follow. All right, so you wanna back up on your mat a little bit. We're gonna actually the front of your mat, my mistake. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. So ease into this stretch, because your low back, your hamstrings might be especially tight right now because we've just been using those muscles. So take this one slowly, carefully. You can always have as much of a bend in the knees as you like. Head is hanging heavy and relaxed. We'll hold it here for just a moment to get that nice stretch. And now go ahead and plant your hands down on the ground in front of you and just walk your feet back to down dog, that upside down V position. And we'll hold here for just a moment. And take this opportunity to stretch your heels a little closer to the ground, feeling a release in your calf muscles. Your calves and your Achilles tendon and all those little muscles in your feet and ankles work a lot when you do balance work, which we did. So we're stretching them out here. And now take your right leg up toward the sky. And then sweep that same knee underneath as you drop into a plank. Shoot it back up. Sweep it under. So here's that core work, right? We are feeling our abdominal position with that knee hovering right over the ground. Go as slowly as you like. I'm going to do one more. And this time as my knee hovers over the ground, I will set it all the way down, rotating outward from the hip. Other leg long behind. We call this position pigeon, and I know it's not best for everyone. So if you would rather have a different kind of hip stretch, just bring both legs forward, diamond shape your arms, and hinge a little bit from the hips, okay? Otherwise, right here with me in pigeon, back leg nice and long. We'll start with a lifted chest, and just focus on the hip flexors in that back leg. Get a nice gentle stretch here. They get very tight if we sit a lot. Just gaze a little bit upward. I like to prop up on my fingertips for an extra inch or so. And then we'll sink down into a deeper hip stretch. Just walk your hands forward, coming down as far as is comfortable for you. You don't want to feel any tweaking or twinging in your hip or your low back. So maybe that means you're up a little bit more. Or if you need a deeper stretch, you can come all the way down to the ground. We'll hold this for just a moment. Getting a nice release in our hip. And then slowly come back up. Sit your hands down in front of you. We're going back into down dog. So tuck the big toe back into your mat. And carefully lift those hips back up. I always like to hold in down dog for just a moment after pigeon because the blood needs to flow back through my front leg. And then whenever you are ready, take your left leg up toward the sky and then sweep that knee under. We're coming into a hovering plank, right back up into three-legged dog. Hovering plank. Concentrate on your core. Right? When we think about the muscles that are working, they might just contract a little bit more for us. Regular breath. Think about inhaling as you lift your leg, exhaling as you sweep the knee under. I'm going to do one more sweep. Hover for just a second. Set that leg down on your mat. Back leg long. Remembering another option would be here. And I always like to sit tall for a moment before sinking right into that hip stretch because there's enormous benefit in this position right here. So shoulders down away from your ears, long neck, deep breath. Then, if you like a deeper hip stretch, just take it easy coming forward. And paying attention to your back, your knee. Trying to get all your muscles as relaxed as possible here. You can achieve that very often through deep, relaxed breathing. Take your time as you start to lift back up. Hands back down in front of you. Toe to the mat. Lift your hips once more in down dog. Stretch out your legs. Your arms nice and straight and strong. Then bring your knees toward the mat. You're bending your knees into a hovering tabletop. Adjust your hands if you need to. You want your hands right under your shoulders. And you're hovering about an inch or two off the ground. Just for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, sit down. All right, from here, a little bit more core work. Take your right leg, extend it back, left arm forward. Or we're gonna crunch elbow and knee together, and then extend arm and leg long. So you're getting tight, 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 and then lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. It does not matter how high your arm or leg go. It's about getting tight and long. If you're really fighting for balance here, you can do this just as easily without that arm. Just focus on moving your leg. If your balance is okay today, or if you don't mind wobbling, nothing wrong with that, keep both arm and leg going. All right, finish the one you're on. Set your hand and knee down. Take the arm that was moving, your right arm, out to the side, and then thread the needle. You're going to take it underneath the other, resting your cheek, maybe your shoulder, all the way down to the ground. And here we're getting a nice stretch in the back of that shoulder, a gentle spinal twist. We did a lot of challenging exercises right before this, so we want to take a little recovery here. You can come out of that and either up on your knees, or you can do this seated or even standing, depends on how your knees feel. You're going to take your fists either into your low back or like you're slipping your hands into some back pockets. We're going to lift our chest. Think about pushing your hip bones forward here as well. You don't want to sink your hips back. We're just opening up the front of the body a bit. Great position for posture here. And relax. All right, we've got the other side. So hands and knees. This time we'll take our left leg back, right arm forward, and crunch and extend. Opposite side. So yeah, you're working your glute a little bit as you move your leg. Bottom shoulder, right? Stabilizing, but really focus on the core. Getting tight, extending long. Breathing as always. You don't want to hold our breath here. It's so easy to do, but not good. All right, finish the one you're on. Set hand and knee down. Take that arm that was moving out to the side. Slide it underneath, right into thread the needle. Giving support for your head by bringing it all the way to the ground. Any little adjustments here that you want to make. Take your time coming back out. Again, either on your knees or on your glutes, fists, or palms to the back. Just lift and open, pushing the pelvis forward, drawing your elbows closer together behind. Nice deep breath. And back to neutral. Very good. All right, next we are going to sit. Another great core exercise coming up. All right, so this one we're going to do propped on our forearms. So sit your forearms down behind you. And we're going to lift our feet off the ground, creating a diamond shape with our legs. So knees are out, so we're externally rotated from the hip. We're going to drop one foot down and drop the other foot down. Trying to kind of keep that diamond shape throughout. Trying to keep your shoulders away from your ears. So easy to scrunch here, but we're trying to keep that long neck. If you feel okay with this version, you can try lowering both together. Just make sure your back isn't talking to you here. And we are working our back, yes, it's stabilizing. We're working our abdominals. It's an excellent exercise for the core. Counting 4 more sound. 4, 3, 2. Of course, it would be lawn mowing day. all my neighbors are mowing their lawn right now. I hope you can't hear it as clearly as I do. Go ahead and set your feet down. Sit back up. Come to cross-legged position with your right leg forward. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of stretching, and this is one option here in crisscross position. Another option would be that diamond shape that I kind of introduced earlier, or for a little deeper stretch, you can bring top knee over bottom knee, as long as you can kind of keep both sits bones equally weighted into the ground. From here, we're just gonna take a nice stretch forward. So inhale, arms up toward the sky. Exhale, come forward, as far as is comfortable for you here. And what we're looking for is a nice stretch in that right hip. You might feel it a little bit in your left side as well, your low back, your neck, but really focusing here on the right hip. Again, holding for just a moment. And then sit up nice and tall. From here, we're gonna lie on our back, and you can keep your legs right where they are as we head to the ground for some crunches, right? An oldie but goodie way to work the core. So hands can be behind the head, or if you'd rather, you can rest your head on the ground. And then we can either crunch both upper and lower body together, or you can just focus on the lower body. So maybe your legs or your knees are a little bit farther apart. Maybe you want to keep both your feet down and just do your upper body. There are so many ways to do crunches. I want you to find a good one for you today. And we will do a few more on this side. I have a little fly friend who's joined us. There's so many challenges to working out outside, right? Lawnmowers and flies and all that kind of stuff. Well, but it's so nice to get outside when you can. All right, beautiful. Set your head down, and we're gonna take a nice spinal twist. If you want to keep your knees crossed, it's gonna give you a deeper stretch. If that's too much, you can always uncross your knees. If you do have your legs crossed, you want to keep that knee on top. So if it's your right leg on top, which it should be, you're gonna take your knees over to the left side, just as far as feels good for your back. I just automatically bring my arms out to the side as well for a little support, trying to keep both shoulder blades on the ground. So if you notice that right arm coming up, maybe lift your knees a little bit more. Deep breath. And bring your knees back to center. If they're crossed, uncross. And carefully push up to sitting. And we'll do a little inner thigh stretch before we do that series on the other side. So, wide angle with the legs. And we're going to start by sitting nice and tall, long spine. Flex your feet, hands forward. And keep walking forward until you can't walk forward anymore without rounding the back. So if you're really rounding, back up a little bit. So legs are nice and straight. Ankles flexed, spine straight. And we're looking for a beautiful stretch in our inner thighs. Sit back up. One more posture stretch. Hands behind, lift your chest. Open, open, open. So much of our day is spent slouched and closed. So we're opening up right here. Shoulder blades down and back. Relax. Nice job. All right, back to crisscross applesauce. This time our left leg is in front. Option 1, option 2, option 3. Right? And I recommend you doing the same option this side as you did on the first. Unless there's just some issue, you've got one bad knee or whatever, then of course make those modifications. All right, so we're going for a stretch. So we're just bringing that chest down. Relaxing as much as possible, keeping both sits bones grounded. Tight hips are an issue for so many of us. That's why every routine I do has at least one good hip stretch in it. We have at least two in this one, so that's extra good. All right, work your way back up. Again, option to keep your legs crossed where they are. We're lying back down onto our backs. Getting ready for more crunches, so lots of options again. Hands behind the head, maybe head is down. Whenever you are ready, we'll start crunching. I'm showing you a total body crunch. Notice upper and lower body moving. You can also do just lower body or just upper body. Always being careful not to pull on your head and neck. Always being careful with smooth, controlled movements. Your body doesn't like surprises. Have you noticed that? Oh, more and more so I am, the older I get. All right, finish the one you're on. Head down, arms out to the side. We're spinal twisting. So either keep your legs crossed or uncrossed, and we'll bring our knees over to the left this time. And again, shoulder blades, both of them on the ground. Close your eyes if you like. That always helps me to relax. Knees back to center. Uncross if you're crossed, and bring both legs right up to the sky. Flexing at your ankles. This is waterfall. We're getting a nice gentle release in our hamstrings, but really just letting the circulation come from our ankles and our legs back down to our heart and to our head. So we'll just hold this for a moment. If you want, you can point and flex at the ankle. I'm not very good at holding still, so always got to move something. Although it's really important to hold still sometimes too, so you do not have to do this movement. You can continue right here, or if you want just a little bit more core work, hands back behind your head, reach hand toward opposite foot, and go to the other side. The lift is coming from your abdominals, not cranking on your head. Do you have to touch your feet? No. It gives you something to aim for. Doesn't have to be the end result. You're still breathing. 4 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. All right, you're going to lower your feet to the ground, head to the ground, arms out to your side, and just let your knees fall open. Connect the soles of your feet again. If this is super uncomfortable, you can always get blocks or blankets or pillows and prop them right under your knees here, just to give the legs a little bit of support so you will be comfortable holding this a little bit longer. I like to cactus my arms here, or maybe even bring them overhead. It gives me a nice shoulder stretch while I'm stretching the inner thighs. Inhaling deeply. Here you can really feel and see the belly rising on the breath. You always want to see that belly rise and not as much in the chest. This is a great hip opener as well. So I encourage you to hold this as long as you like. When you feel like you've had enough, bring your knees together. Hug into your chest for a moment. Maybe rolling side to side. Gentle massage on the low back. Then lower your feet, legs long, arms reach overhead, long body stretch. Feeling very open. Deep breath. Exhale. Bring your arms down along your sides. Maybe separate your feet a little bit wider. A little turn out. Palms up toward the sky. And this can be your restoration position for today, or if you'd rather find another position that's more comfortable, please do so. And while you're here, I just want you to take a little survey of your body from toes all the way up to your head. Are you still holding any tension in your feet or in your ankles? What about your calves? Are your knees nice and relaxed? Your thighs, both the front and the back, they worked very hard today. So if they're still a little tight, just think about taking a deep breath and relaxing those muscles a little bit more. How are your abdominals? Try to let them relax with each breath. Unclench any tightness in your glutes, your back, your chest, your shoulders. Hold a lot of tension there. Try to just let it go. How about your arms? The fronts of your arms, the backs of your arms, your hands and fingers. If you're feeling any stiffness there, maybe wiggle your fingers a little bit. Relax. Your neck. Maybe you need to roll your head side to side like we did at the beginning. Maybe you need to nod up and down. Your jaw. Sometimes we clench our jaw when we're stressed or really focused on something. So maybe open and close your mouth a couple of times. Your forehead. Make sure your eyebrows are relaxed. Hopefully you're nice and completely comfortable now from head to toe. So just take a few slow, deep breaths. Now just begin to bring some gentle movement back into your body, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, moving your head side to side. And open your eyes. And take your time coming up to a seated position if you're not there already. If you were lying down for a long time, you don't want to pop right back up, so take your time. And I hope you enjoyed that nice routine. At the end it was relaxing, but it was quite challenging in the beginning if you recall. So we did a lot of strengthening, we did a lot of nice stretching, flexibility work, got our heart rate up a little bit, and hopefully ended with some beautiful relaxation, which is just as important as all the other elements of this practice today. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that it helped you to feel a little bit better, a little bit stronger, and more encouraged. And I'm just sending my heart to you. I miss seeing you in person. I hope to be back again very soon. In the meantime, stay fit, stay well, and remember that you are blessed.